Hello, I'm Catherine Anaya, and welcome to this episode of Conversations with Catherine. I am happy to have with me Dawnmarie Deshaies. She is an MS warrior, author, health and wellness coach, podcaster, and blogger. And it's so nice to finally talk to you in person. We've been chatting via Instagram.
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine, for being
Yes.
on your show today. I'm so honored.
Well,
Thank
thank
you so much.
you. I'm very excited to chat with you. You've experienced some incredible success on so many different platforms. So, congratulations to you for that.
Thank you so very much.
Now,
Thank
this stems from your personal battle with MS, multiple sclerosis, and what's become your life mission, really, to educate and create awareness about MS, and to inspire those who are struggling with it as well to live their best lives. You were diagnosed back in 2012 with MS. Now, it is an autoimmune disease and a life threatening disease. How much did you know about MS before you were actually diagnosed?
I actually had no idea what the disease was before I was diagnosed, although I had been living with the disease since my early 20s. So, living 20 years of symptoms, which I called phantoms, that would attack my body throughout those years. I never knew what it was. I actually thought at one point I was going insane. It wasn't until I had my double mastectomy in 2012 that my entire body went like a electrical outlet, like through a town, and I shut down completely. Couldn't speak, couldn't see, couldn't walk, nothing. It was like pulled the plug. And then the doctors had me in the hospital testing for everything you can imagine. And finally, the third neurologist took the brain MRI and the spinal tap and confirmed that I had multiple sclerosis. And at that point, it was almost a savior. I was like, finally, I know what's been wrong with me all these years.
So finally, you had an answer to what was happening
I was
to your
finally
body.
validated. Yes, exactly.
Yes, which I'm sure made you feel comfortable knowing what you were dealing with, but yet at the same time, it's probably a shock to you when you find out that you have MS and you really didn't know much about it prior to that, right?
Correct. It was a shock to figure out once we got home and we really learned about the disease and that it could be life threatening, that it could just shut me down completely, which it has done to so many of us over the years. There are 3.2 million people worldwide today with this disease, and the majority of it are women from the age of 20 and 40s where we get diagnosed. So I did all of my research, and Robert did all of the research, and I was in a wheelchair, then went to a walker, and then to a cane, and then finally started to figure out what was working for me and decided I was going to battle the unseen beast straight on. Like it was
Hmm.
in front of me, and I was going to take it down and do everything I could to do it holistically because all of the medications they had me on, I was extremely allergic to. So
Hmm.
I am not on any interferon drugs at all. And every day I face it with whatever it throws at me. And I face it with a positivity outlook and strength of the inner mindset of myself of moving forward. So when someone tells me, you can't do that, I always say, watch me.
Exactly. Talk to me a little bit about, what those symptoms include or what MS for people who are not familiar with it includes and the physical and the emotional sort of ups and downs you've experienced since 2012. Because not every day is the same, correct?
Not every day is the same. It's like playing, the wheel of fortune. You can spin the wheel and you have no idea what's going to happen to you that day. I could be in the middle of this conversation and all of a sudden I can't speak. I can lose my eyesight at any given time. I have pins and needles, which is an everyday feeling that I have. So if you imagine yourself the last time you sat crisscross applesauce or your hand went to sleep and it gets that burning sensation, that is what we constantly deal with most of the time on a level of all of us throughout the world that have the disease. We have a thing called drop leg. We could be walking and all of a sudden our leg just lets go because the brain is not sending that electrical connection of the wiring to that muscle. So what happens is my own immune system and everyone else with the disease is eating away at our brain, the myelin sheath, which is the skin cover of the brain. So imagine your arm, you get a cut and the cut is deep, but if you don't take care of it, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you see the actual inside of the wound. So
Mhm.
within my brain, I have lesions, as we call them, on the right, the left, the frontal lobe, and the back of my brain. So when you do a brain MRI, you see these lesions throughout, and they're like white spots. We call them snowflakes because every person has a different size lesion throughout the brain. So depending on how long you've had the disease, you could have hundreds of them on one side, one giant one, 1,000 little ones. And that's why we all know the symptoms, but we don't all face them exactly at the same time or how bad they are from one person to the next.
Right. And you don't always have them consistently. You might have some days where you don't experience them at all, correct?
Correct. There's days when I feel really great and I don't have any symptoms, and all of a sudden I could be out doing anything and I'll fall, I'll trip, I'll be speaking backwards, or I could be looking right at you trying to have a conversation and I can't remember who you are or what you asked me, and I'll have to get it repeated. When I study and I read and I'm doing a lot of work that is focusing on the brain, it usually triggers like my feet to go asleep, my hands don't work. So I've learned to adjust and adapt where if it's like a right brain problem, I'll focus on the left brain. So to almost tricking it, kind of
Mm,
like going after the disease, but getting it to focus my own body to focus on the left versus the
mhm.
right.
And did you learn to adapt this way on your own, or was this something that you learned from talking to various experts?
No, I learned all of this on my own on the power of the mind, and reading books and watching videos on calming your breathing down. And then my dear friend, Dr. Shauna Shapiro, walked me through a lot of exercises that when I am in attack or a tremor attack where my entire body is like an earthquake and I literally start shaking, we have a heavyweight blanket. That I have to put on my body when I'm laying down to calm my nervous system down
Mm,
and take my tremor medication, because it
mhm.
literally is like someone just threw me in the middle of the earth and I'm the one erupting the earthquake, and this is nonstop.
Well, you mentioned a lot of the research and the reading that you had been doing, and now you've written two books yourself. One is Finding the Sun Through the Clouds, Sharing My Journey, which is your autobiography. The other is Living with Phantoms, A Journey to the Truth. Why was it important for you to share your journey with other people?
It is important for me to share my journey because I lived 20 years of my life suffering with depression, anxiety, self-doubt, not feeling like a woman, not feeling like I had any control over my life, questioning every single thing I did, and having three small children throughout that time frame, and also having five miscarriages prior to the children I have today. And I truly thought I was going insane. And once I actually got diagnosed, I thought there's got to be so many more women in the world dealing with this. When I saw the mass numbers of 3 million people in the world, and the majority is 80% right now, women. And we all get diagnosed between the ages of 20 to 40 years old. And that to me is, there wasn't a book written of someone's real tragedy and heartbreak and sorrow and depression. And I also tried to take my life
Mm,
because of the medications. And this story needed to be written. And I wrote it. It took me 9 months in a cafe, and I wrote it, and it did so well that I ended up writing book two with more in depth of what we really go through as a woman, because I truly believe as women, we don't get acknowledged properly in a doctor's office. We walk in, We get a symptom. Okay, yeah, this is great. You look great. Your blood work's perfect. Here you go. Here's a prescription of Xanax. We'll see you next week, or we'll see you in a couple months. And that's what happened to me year after year after year.
And you knew something was wrong.
I knew something was wrong. I knew that I did know that I wasn't crazy, but I couldn't prove what was wrong with me. How do you prove your body is shaking? How do you prove you can't see? How do you prove like I'm not drinking? I literally just fall for no reason. And when I saw the statistics of how many women are diagnosed and how many women are permanently paralyzed, and because they can't get out of that rotating trap, and we're not taught to retrain our brains when we're diagnosed. It's put you on the medications and just manage the symptoms with a Band-Aid. And with how severe my allergy reactions are, I didn't have an option. So I had to find my own options. And I thought writing this book was going to help the next person that got diagnosed at an early age, or someone in their 30s that knew she was questioning herself, but it wasn't her.
Mhm.
So the
Well,
raw
now,
truth had to come out.
Well, and now you've become an advocate for MS awareness and education because you recognize the lack of support and promotion of MS awareness. And of course, your own personal journey, having experienced what you just talked about. What do you want people to know about MS and what it's like to live with MS?
There has to be more awareness for multiple sclerosis. We have March Awareness Month, we have Bike MS, we have Walk MS, we have like events to raise awareness for MS, but that's for trying to come up with the solutions of another drug to help subside the symptoms. There is no cure uh, at all. It will kill us at one point in time. My voice of my help is I want it to be a positive reinforcement. I don't want you to be home alone, feeling ashamed or afraid to tell your friends, I can't do this. So my voice on my page and all of my media of MS is get up, face your day, say I love you, continue to move forward in that positive light, because whether you have a disease or not, you're the most amazing person in the world because you're you and you have something to offer, whether it's a story or whatever you've gone through in life. You are your best advocate of your life. So take control of it and move forward with a positive outlook. When you think positively every morning, your world changes. If you wake up in the morning and you say, I feel like crap, I can't get out of bed, I'm going to stay home, that automatically triggers the loss of the serotonin and the body to think, I can't move. But if your body can't move, you can say, okay, well, let's try to do this and focus on another part of your body, which then forces the brain to stop eating that part of your brain, which is attacking it at that time. And it triggers that positivity. So music, singing, laughter, just pure light, the things you surround yourself with, color is huge. Outdoor environments, fresh.
You're describing things that I think anybody could apply to their life, when it comes to just approaching it with positivity. And I love that you incorporate that into what's happening physically as an MS survivor. You created a company called Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit, where you cultivate information from some of the top wellness experts in the world. You created a multi-dimensional program to tackle everything from nutrition to fitness to self-love, like you were just talking about, and positivity. How can people become better advocates or bigger advocates for themselves? What do you suggest?
First of all, I suggest look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that you are the most important person in your life. First and foremost, you may be a mom, you may be a wife, you may be a corporate woman, a CEO, whatever you're doing. But if you do not recognize how valuable you are, it's not going to take one step forward. You're going to take 12 steps back. It's always moving forward. No matter what you're doing in life, continue to move forward. So I would honestly say, Look at yourself like you are the number one CEO of your body, your brain, your spirit, and you are going to move forward every day with positivity. And
I
if
love
there's
that.
negativity around you, you're going to dismiss it and you're going to let it go, because that you do not need in your life. In 2020, we've gone through chaos. 2020 has actually been the best year for me so far. I've been able to really focus on Dawnmarie, learn what Dawnmarie can offer. What can I move forward? How am I going to move forward in a confined environment?
I think we've all sort of had this opportunity to learn more about ourselves and what we're capable of, and, you know, maybe a little bit more about what our purpose is. I would have to agree with you on that.
Exactly, because we all feel like we're working for the other man.
Yep.
This is our only body we're ever going to have. And we need to take care of it. Like, we spent billions of dollars on it. And we need to fine tune it and change and tweak it every single day, and really love yourself. Look in the mirror and say, good morning, I love you, and really mean it. And the more that you say it over and over, you will start to notice the twinkle in your eye. You'll start to notice that you feel better about yourself. And then people are gravitated to you and they want to know, what are you doing? You changed something. What's going on? And it's all about brain power and the positivity of the heart, mind, and soul.
Well, clearly it's been transformative for you in becoming not only an advocate for yourself, but for so many others, like we were talking about through your various platforms. New York Weekly named your podcast Live with Dawnmarie one of its top 15 podcasts of 2020. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank you
And
so
you've created this community via your books, your podcast, and your website. You know, what kind of an impact would you say you've been able to make?
I've made an impact on being best friends with the Multiple Sclerosis Society. They're all my friends. They're my brothers and sisters. And I spend time with them, and we call each other and check up on each other. And there's a giant web of communication that if we don't see a post or what's going on that day, we reach out to each other. And there's a huge family bond there. And then we all get to know each other's families. And it's virtual, but you can still feel the love and the support of one another and embracing that. So we embrace each other when we're having those horrible days, and we embrace each other when we're celebrating the amazing days. And the community is stronger, and it's now starting to change around. When I first started my Instagram, it was doom and gloom. MS sucks. MS is horrible. I'm not doing this today. I can't do this. And I just was like, my platform needs to be different. This is my life. This is how I'm moving forward. This is how the world needs to move forward. When you have, it's just like the ride at Disneyland. It's a small world after all. When you get on that ride, you start singing and you like feel the
Yeah, you
joy.
can't help it.
And it truly is a small world after all. And when we connect like this and you share that positive attitude and that mindset, the world starts to change. You start to look at things differently. Something you went by a million times in one day, the day you stop to really look at it, listen and feel it, which is like a tree or a flower or a bird, anything outside, or even something in your house that's always been in that one spot forever. When you really stop and look at it and think, how does it feel? I know it's not alive, but I wonder. It's
Mm.
just about how a 2-year-old would approach the world. They don't question, they run free.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we need to be.
So is that how, if I asked you, how would you like to inspire or empower people through your journey? Would that be a best description of it?
Yeah.
Live life freely.
Live life freely and healthy. Feed your body well, because when you feed your body well, then the response of the serotonin and the happiness of yourself will just transform into a brighter light of you're always inspiring. Keep inspiring yourself and keep inspiring others every day. and listen to how you respond to things. Don't think before the question is asked. Listen. And the more that you listen, the more you understand yourself.
Mm-hmm. So very wonderful to talk to you, to hear more about your journey. Of course, we follow each other on Instagram, so I watch all your pictures and positivity on social media. So I appreciate you so much and for taking the time. I know it's been a busy day and we had our challenges making this happen, but I thank you so much. I want to let people know that they can listen to your podcast. It's live with Dawnmarie on Spotify and iTunes, and your books are available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Your website is dawnmariehealthyandfit.org. And of course, you're on Instagram spreading positivity, Dawnmarie Healthy and Fit as well. So good to see you.
Thank you. So good to see you, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me on. I truly appreciate it. And keep inspiring, because you are amazing.
You as well. You as well. I can call you my friend now because we've actually talked in person.
We are friends.
Well, this is about as in person as we're going to get these days.
Well, one day, let's hope we're all in a giant room celebrating together.
Yes, absolutely. Keep up the great work, and much love and success to you.
Thank you. Have a fabulous day.
Thanks so much for watching Conversations with Catherine. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, like, and comment while you're here. I'll see you next time.